Hey guys, it's Cam from 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and we are finally here. I think like 3-4 weeks after the premiere of Moon Knight episode 6, but work and then personal stuff, and then Doctor Strange got in the way as well of this.
Oh, you mean WandaVision 2.0?
Yeah, if you want our thoughts on that, I'll link it at the end of the video. But yeah, a bunch of stuff. And then two, we wanted to get this out the way before Miss Marvel comes out in June, which is in about maybe 2 weeks or so.
Yeah, I think it's the first week in June.
Yeah, and then She-Hulk guy, we saw the trailer. Although the
Solid trailer.
CGI people
Yep.
are complaining about, I think they'll be fixed by the time the show comes out in
Well,
August.
they're making it out to be. They're making it a comedy.
Yeah.
And again, that really puts a. It's a bummer for us. Us old fogies, so to speak. That grew up with the comic and grew up knowing She-Hulk was a badass, man. I mean, but to make it a comedy is kind of a downer.
No, we'll see. We only saw it's only.
I mean, I'll give it a shot. Don't get me wrong. I'll give it a shot. But I mean, just that first look, that first glance at the trailer. Although I do like Tatiana Maslany. I mean, she great actress when she did Orphan Black. I don't know if you've ever seen that or not, but if you haven't seen it, yes, watch that show. She played a myriad of roles, great actress. So it was a great selection for She-Hulk. It was just I wasn't expecting it to be a comedy. I'll say that.
Yep, and then obviously the most recent news in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the fact that now Daredevil is going to be getting a Disney Plus TV show. So definitely looking forward to that. Again, when the time comes for those shows, we will definitely talk about them. But as
they don't water it down.
Yeah, that's up to what Marvel wants to do.
I know it is, but my personal feeling is the reason why it's so popular is because Netflix didn't pull their punches with the content. I know Disney probably will tone it down. I mean, but we will see. I'm just hoping that they don't.
Yep. But anyways, we're here to talk about the Moon Knight. Now we don't know if this is a season finale or maybe a series finale. I think Moon Knight could definitely work again with a season 2. They don't confirm if we're getting a season 2. With the end credit scene, it looks like there's a good chance unless they want to take the risk at going at it with a movie. But if they go with a movie, I can only see him as a supporting cast role and aside to some other main character. But we'll see. We'll see. I definitely do think there's going to be a season 2 of Moon Knight. It just hasn't been announced. We'll see if that'll be announced. But leaving off way back when episode 5 aired, we left off the whole aspect of Mark trying to look through his past and accepting and coming to terms with his past. At the same time, we see that pretty much Harrow's doing his evil deeds and sending all these souls to the afterlife and everything. And we pick up right where we left off there. And what happens is we actually see before or after, directly after the events of Mark getting shot and killed, we see the events of what happened. So Harrow, he takes the Amit statue that he took from the tomb of Alexander the Great, and pretty much he smashes it, and then he gets the power of Amit starting to unlock and everything. So then he heads on to the pyramids, or the base where those gods we saw, I believe in episode 3. What is it, to go release Amit and be fully into this world. Now we have it to where Layla's kind of in the background just watching this entire thing. She almost gets caught just trying to take down one bad guy in the ring in the hoods. Now again, I don't know why freaking Harrow just didn't be like, who's there, or something like that. He just okay, yeah, sure, let's not check before anything. You hear something clearly, you might want to go check it out. But no, he leaves. And then you have this pretty emotional scene with Layla just, kind of caressing the dead body of Mark, and we think, oh, Mark's dead for good and stuff like that, or she thinks that. And we cut over where she follows Arrow's man. She kind of puts on the guy's outfit she took out. And again, we kind of get a scene where they stop at like this, like, I guess you can say what would be like a toll site or something like that. You have these guards like, hey, stop right here,
Right.
and everything. That everybody gets out the car. Harold's like, listen, we don't mean no harm. We don't mean no harm. I just want to look deep inside your souls. So we
Yeah,
just,
well, I don't mean no harm, but y'all gotta go if I'm not feeling y'all. You know what I mean? So I thought that was pretty cool. What I really thought was pretty cool was one of the guards. He was like, "Yes, you're good. You're good. You won't need this gun. Just join us, and we'll show you the way." And he just okay.
yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Harold was a really good villain, played by Ethan Hawke. I thought he was a really good bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
guessing when he did that attack where he slammed his staff, that's when
Right.
we cut back to episode 5, you see all those souls just going into the afterlife and everything. 'Cause
Right.
it took like a good portion of those people's lives and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That one individual, that one guard. Now again, we cut over to Layla, who's there. She's in disguise. She pulls out a knife like it's gonna kill Hera, which we know it's not. And
It's not.
we see Tiamat take over this dead body, and say, "Hey, Layla, listen, you can't do that. You're gonna die now." Mind you, Layla, we see, after the scene's over with, Layla puts on like a little mask covering to cover her face. Why she does not do this there, and Harrow is clearly looking at her, like literally like
Mm-hmm.
looking at her. I'm like, how do you not see that's Layla right there? And he keeps looking back, like, is there something there? And again, just stupidness by the villain, but you would
Yeah.
think you would go over there and be like, hey, is there something wrong? Oh, Layla, what you doing here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think that's just typical stupid thing. It's stupid. How the main villain, how a villain, if I was a villain, I would go over there and check. I'm pretty aware of my surroundings as is, but I don't know why Harold couldn't tell it's Layla right there. And she's like barely trying to hide herself behind this truck. And I'm like, you can easily tell that's right her. But Tiamat's like, hey,
And on top of that, Harold was already proved he's really good at operating a handgun. So I mean, it would. I thought it would have been simpler. Hey, that person just don't look wrapped too tight. Let me just go ahead and pull out my Colt 45 and just fire a couple of rounds in that area and see what happens. No, just didn't do anything like that. And Harold was like, you know what? Uh, mm, mm, what's going on over there? I'm gonna just leave it. I'm gonna let that sleeping dog lie.
yeah.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah, Tiamat is essentially telling, like, listen, you need to freaking find this little mini statue of Khonshu so you can free him, and then it will find a way to bring Mark back to life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, she's like, what? I'm not gonna do that. And everything. And she's like, well, you got to do it. But then Harold's like, okay, let's go on. We got to go to the pyramids so we can do what we got to do. Now we actually cut over to Mark, and he's in the fields of, like, I guess the Egyptian version of heaven in this universe. And essentially he's wondering like where the heck he's at. Tiamat appears right behind him. She's like, well, this is it. This is your journey. Your journey's done. It's over.
And right, she also mentioned to him that this is your vision because this is your peace. This is your tranquility. Yes, this in effect is your afterlife. So just live at it, have at it, enjoy it. But unfortunately, Mark wasn't really feeling that based on what happened to Stephen, correct. So he just wasn't really feeling well about that. So he basically said, no, this is not right. So I'm going back after Stephen. And then once he made that decision, it just went from a nice little grassy knoll out in the wheat fields to the sand, dusk, and desert to where Stephen was. So Mark made his way over to Stephen. Steven was still in whatever you want to call it, suspended animation. He was stuck in time, what have you. He was frozen right there still. And that's when Mark began to really open up to Steven about how much he needs him and how much he apologizes and all the things that had happened to him, that he was like, I'm just so sorry and think, but I need you. But while all of this is going on, Steven himself began to become frozen. Mark began to become frozen like Steven currently is. So at that particular point, he had what was that in his hand?
It's like some sort of stone or something like that.
Yeah, some sort of stone that, like, just for me, when I was watching, he was really holding it close to him, like it was like something, a part of Steven was with him. And this is how I felt about it. So he took that stone, and as they're both becoming as Mark is becoming frozen like Steven, he kind of puts it in his hand, and they held hands and they connect with the stone. And at that particular moment, the amazing happened, and we have Steven again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we get that scene, they get brought back, and they almost get like taken over by this like sand tsunami trying to just cover them and probably just take them down. But we see Tiamat come in with the boat and pretty much block it from happening.
And to give him a little bit of time to make it towards the doorway that was opening up to allow them into the other side.
Yeah.
And I think Steven was still a little I don't want to say hurt, but he seemed, I would say, numb. He was still numb to the fact he had just came out of this suspended animation or being frozen, if you will. So he and Mark, they really started, hustling to get to this light. And it was Tiamat that actually saved their skin and gave them a little bit more time to get to it.
Yeah. Now, we cut back over to what's going on in the real world, and we just have Harrow and his men essentially climbing up the pyramid, and they get to this one area, slams the staff down, it opens up. The gods within the pyramids right there, they're like, what's going on? Why is it shaking and everything? And they're like, oh, they're trying to resurrect crap, what's that god's name? Amit. And Amit, and one of the guys is like, it's Harrow, and I'm like, see, this is what you guys get for not freaking taking care of, not listening to Kaiju and everything.
I think it was back in episode 3, as a matter of fact, like you just referenced, where all these gods were standing around and they were telling him, hey, Harrow is crooked, he's the devil, he's trying to do this, that, and the other. And they didn't believe him because they just didn't like Khonshu. Yeah. Actually, they didn't believe Mark either. Because he was an avatar of Khonshu, and I don't like Khonshu. So you know what? I don't believe you either. So, Amit is reborn, so to speak, and in true fashion, the bad guy truly is truly revealed to all these gods.
Yeah. After he kind of just takes them out pretty easily. It's just like one blow. They're all taken out. Amit then resurrects. She's in the form, obviously, I think they said an alligator or a crocodile. It's one of those
crocodile.
Two. And obviously she's talking to Harrow, and Harrow at this point is like, well, I've done all these bad deeds, judge me, and so I can just die and move on to the afterlife.
Right, because she was basically telling him that, you aren't balanced. And obviously the scales is a big thing with him. You aren't balanced at all. So that's when, Harrow was basically saying, well, you know what, I know it, but I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to show my loyalty to you.
Yeah, because she's like, well, I need an avatar and stuff like that. So he accepts to it. He becomes Amit's avatar. And in the meantime, you have it to where Layla's in the background watching all this, gets the statue, the little small statue of Khonshu, breaks it. Khonshu breaks out, is talking to Layla, and he's like, listen, I don't feel or sense any presence from Mark. So I need an avatar if I'm gonna have to take these dudes down. And he's trying to ask Layla to do it, and Layla's like, "No, I'm not. After what I saw you do to Mark."
She cut him off. She was strong in her convictions that I don't give a damn what you do. I am not being your avatar. You can forget it. I'll figure out something. I'll make it happen, or die trying. But one of the things I'm not going to do is join you. I thought that was pretty. Now I gotta admit, I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't think it was stupid or dumb or anything, but I did think that was pretty good of Layla to not do that, because I mean, Khonshu had a really good history of really ruining avatars.
Yeah. So Khonshu, he's like, all right, fine, I guess I have to go with it. He confronts Amit and Harrow, and obviously Amit's like, oh, you're here. Oh, how about we just do this judgment thing together? And obviously Khonshu's like, well, I don't judge people the way you judge. I judge them based on the actions that they do, or if they're bad, right, and everything. And Amit's like, okay, then I guess we're just gonna have to throw down here, because I'm not gonna let you get what I need. Right. Essentially, Amit tells Harrow, go do what you need to go do and go judge everybody at the top of the pyramid. So that's the whole thing. And then, mind you, at the same time, that's when, as the fight between Khonshu and Amit is going on, which, let's be honest, Khonshu pretty much in this entire episode against Amit got his ass whooped.
Yeah, he was no match for Amit. But then again, I never chalked up Khonshu as being a fighter. Really, to me, he just seemed more of a, I'm gonna just lay here in the background. Instead of being a king, he decided he's a kingmaker, so to speak. And kingmakers, they tend to just drift off in the background and let people in front of them do all the dirty work. So yeah, he didn't seem like he was much of a fighter. I mean, he hung in there though.
Yeah. Also too, when Khonshu's back, Arrows finally just gets the freaking smartness of a villain. It's like, there's somebody else in here. Well, it's Amit that said that there's somebody else in here. Looks around, lo and behold, so there you are. I've been looking for you the entire episode. Just fires off this attack. It essentially starts to cave in the pyramid area that they're at, but Tiamat starts to like take in over Layla's body, and she's like, listen, if you let me be your avatar and everything, I can freaking get you out of this situation and everything. So that's what happens. She accepts to making a little bit of a deal with Tiamat. And then that's when we get her in her costume, which it looks pretty cool and everything. It's like one of those it's like an Egyptian armor type of eagle-like thing. So yeah. Now in the meantime, with Mark, he gets out, they get there. He's now alive again, but again, the whole thing is he's already got shot. He's got the bullet still in him. So the moment he comes back, he needs Khonshu right then and there. Otherwise, he's just gonna die again. So Khonshu senses this, vanishes before Amit literally takes him out, and then kind of breathes life into Mark again. And then, you get the whole scene of the whole thing about becoming my Moon Knight and everything we saw from episode 4. And stuff like that, or no, episode 5. And he walks out, he transforms into the Moon Knight costume, walks out, and this time you have it to as he's talking to Khonshu. Now that he's accepted Steven, Mark can switch back and forth in between of Steven and Mark. So we get Mr. Knight and just regular Moon Knight looking like this. And pretty much they come to a deal, and Khonshu's like, well, Amit's released. We got to do something about this and everything. And Mark's like, fine, I can do something about this. But then he switches into Steven because Steven wants to do the negotiations. He's like, listen, you made us do all this stuff to begin with anyway. So how about this? I'll agree to stopping Amit because we both need to do it, or really you need Amit to be stopped. If only this. After this fight is over with, we're done. We're not being your avatar. We're done being Moon Knight. We're done. That's it.
That's it.
And Khonshu, he reluctantly agrees. He's like, okay, sure. Now we find out at the end of the episode he told a little white lie about that situation.
Yeah, he already knew what he was planning anyway. He knew that there is a third party, Jake Lockley, which we knew that that he was a part of this as well too. We just didn't really know at this particular moment how he was going to fit in, and we see how he fits in a little bit later. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about it, but Steven was actually really cool during the negotiation, to the point where as Khonshu was just like, "Hey, you're negotiating with me," and Steven was like, "Well, hey man, you've been doing all these negotiations, and now all of a sudden you don't have the upper hand, and you want our help. So I think this is a perfect time to start talking about, what our demands are, and our demands is that you release us." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And at that particular moment, I got to admit, I thought that was a little bit too easy. So I kind of figured there was going to be some type of escape route for Khonshu to get out of this. You know what I mean? Because I mean, he is a god, so obviously, he is, adept at, getting around things and, loopholing certain agreements. So I was wondering, what he was going to do. I didn't think he didn't seem desperate to me. So he did say he would do it. And I gotta admit, man, it was pretty cool how them bullets popped out of Mark, and all of a sudden he became Moon Knight. I thought that was actually pretty cool. It was pretty exciting at that particular moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. They changed it back to the night sky.
That's
Moon
right.
Knight just pretty much floats up and then just starts flying to pretty much the pyramid. As he's doing this,
they kind of did a copycat Batman thing in which, he flies up and you see his silhouette in the moon. And it's, obviously it's the half moon icon. I was just like, okay, all right, that's not original, but it was okay. It worked for what it was, So, and then all of a sudden, here we go. It's bad guys versus good guys. Last one standing wins. That's when they all start fighting and duking it out.
Yeah, I think the only difference in that scene is Moon Knight was legitimately flying, while Batman, when he does that, he's gliding.
Okay, all right. Let's not. It was stolen. It was stolen. It was stolen. Yes, Batman was a ship. That's fine. He was in the Bat plane, and it was actually Moon Knight, but it wasn't as cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I'm just used to that stuff because I play the Arkham game. So
okay, all right. I'm just letting you know. It just it wasn't as cool when I first saw it in the Batman movie in 1989. So I mean, I know that's a little bit before your time, young fellow. But I'm pretty sure you've seen the scene.
I've seen it.
You've
seen it a while, but I've seen it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You don't have to sit up here and point out how much older I am with you. I have all of this to tell me and show me how much older I am. But it still was not as cool as when it happened. What happened in Batman in 1989. It wasn't as cool. I didn't get that same. No, it wasn't anything like that. Although I'm pretty sure that's what Disney was shooting for.
Mm-hmm.
With you younger cats.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I still have to make a review about this, but just to go a little bit off the I guess topic, Chip and Dale, they made a funny Batman reference in that new movie that came out.
In that new movie, you know what? Diamond was watching that early today, and she wanted to watch it. The Rescue Rangers movie. So no, I hadn't seen it, but now that you mention it, I think I will go ahead and look it up.
Yeah, it's just a quick little reference there, but I thought the movie was all right.
Okay,
funny for some.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a Chip and Dale kind of guy. I mean, I was always the Rescuers, but not Chip and Dale. They all right, but the Rescuers, Rescuers is cool.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we cut over back to the fight. So Harold gets to the top of the pyramid. He's just pretty much condemning everybody. So everybody has scales showing up on their arms, and he just screams out to as many as like, judge everybody, pretty much.
Actually, it was one of his apprentices that said it when they were boots on the ground. It was like, judge everyone, and that's what they're doing. They're just grabbing everyone by the wrist, and they're doing their judging. And you see some scales are turning red, and souls are going up into the air to feed Amit. And the more souls she ate, the larger she became.
Yeah.
So, but the question about the part with Harold was on the pyramid, and Moon Knight is flying towards the pyramid. Why wouldn't he just fly directly to Harold and just tackle him off the pyramid? He flew, halfway down the pyramid where he might have been like, a good 40, 50 feet away. I was like, why fly there? Just fly to the very top and knock his behind off the top of the pyramid,
Superhuman abilities. They can just easily
it just kind of was weird to me. Like, you got this flying ability, but you're not gonna fly all the way to the top.
Yeah. Anyways, they start duking it out. They get tackled. They go to like the regular like town looking area in I guess Cairo, Egypt. In the meantime, you have a gigantic kaiju battle versus Amit versus Khonshu. Again, like I said, it looks like Khonshu gets some edge on, like at a point has a staff like literally on Amit's neck, but Amit just like, oh, you think that's it? Trust me, I'm a lot stronger than you think I am. Hey, like I said,
Khonshu I'm really worried. I'm worried. See, Amit wasn't really worried at all, was she?
Yeah, she wasn't. No,
not in the least.
Yeah, so you get the whole fight. Layla then ends up saving Mark from pretty much getting blasted or getting like slammed or something, like condemned or something like that. They work together and everything, so it was a pretty cool moment where they're working together. Again, Mark and Steven, they're switching out from their different personas and everything, so you have Mr. Knight beating up people and stuff like that. And then you get to the part where it's just Layla and Mark against Harrow, and it looks like they're getting the upper hand on Harrow, but they look like they're trying to go for the head, just kill this guy straight out. But Harrow just blocks them off of them, pretty much takes Layla out, just like puts her stuck on like some sort of car, and it looks like he then tries to condemn and take, I guess, the powers of Moon Knight away from Mark. But all of a sudden, as Mark's like just fizzing out, he passes out. Next thing you know, we get a quick cut. Mark's like, what the heck happened? And then lo and behold, you see Harrow defeated right then and there. And a bunch of other people around him defeated, and Layla, as she gets off of the car, she's like, Mark, what the hell did you just do? And he's like, I don't know what I did. He even asked, like, Steven, do you know what happened? Did you do this? He's like, no, that wasn't me.
No, that wasn't me.
And yeah, so what happens next is which was mentioned earlier, one of the guys who Layla tried to save but ended up dying said, like, the only way to stop Amit is if you can seal Amit within her avatar. So what they do is they take Harrow's body, they take him back to the pyramid, put him on this little bed area thing. They just essentially chant this thing, and it makes Amit go back into or sealed inside Harrow as her avatar.
And also, if you really look at it, they also use not the avatars, but look like the statues of the other gods, in which they created a circle with a circle of energy feeding through these different little statues all the way around. And they use the energy from all of that to put Amit inside of Harold.
Yeah.
So, and once that was done, then it's up to, Khonshu wanted him dead. So, he was ordering Mark to kill him. Well, in true hero fashion, Mark didn't do it. So at that particular moment, they're just like, hey, Khonshu, honor your promise to us. I'm not going to kill him. He's now your problem. And, Khonshu actually honored his agreement, or, so we thought.
So with that, yeah. The last bit of the episode, you get one of those like psychiatrist scenes with the fake version of Harrow, but then it was like a dream sequence. Mark wakes up and he's back in his place we saw at the start of the episode, at the start of the show. Same thing. He had his whole leg, wrapped up. He's thinking he's
same music too. Same music too. I think it was Tom Jones. Same music.
He thinks he's free now, and he's going back to work all happy as can be and everything. You get the credits, but obviously in a Marvel show, especially these Marvel Disney Plus shows, typically they start the whole post-credit scenes either episode 5. Sometimes they just wait for the season finale. obviously the number one thing is I would have seen. I was like, oh, I thought we are getting Jake Lockley. I guess whenever Moon Knight comes back, I guess we'll do that unless they have a post-credit scene. Post-credit scene comes. Harrow was like in some sort of prison. He gets freed. And they take him to this limousine. And he gets inside the limousine and we just look from Harrow's perspective and he's like, I can't believe you. And you just have freaking Kaiju sitting there in his suit, everything, right then and there.
Yep.
And Harrow's like, you can't kill me, so I don't know what the point of this whole thing is.
That's
and essentially, Khonshu's like, oh, yes, I know, but there's actually somebody that can.
It was like, I'm not going to kill you, but there is someone who can. And obviously, here we go. And the window lets down, and the person riding the vehicle is none other than Jake Lockley.
Yep.
So Jake Lockley has this scowl on his face. His voice is also different from what Stephen and Mark's voice is too, and I think that was pretty cool. So then he pulls out a handgun, and then you see the clip of the entire car, and lights flashing all in the car, obviously because Jake is shooting Harold.
Yep.
So. That now, I mean, did the car drive? And yes, the car drove off.
Drove away. No, that's
with the license plate. With a license plate, that Spectre.
Yeah.
Now, how I don't know how that relates to what we believe is going to be a season 2, but I thought that was a pretty good ending to a really good show, and they actually did. I mean, they didn't cliffhanger it like they did with Loki. And I thought it was a really good ending to a really good show. So hopefully they do come up with another season 2. Does it warrant a movie? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think if Moon Knight's going to reappear in a movie, it's going to be in a supporting cast role.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is.
For that designed hero, I wouldn't know. The only one I would say is if after the Daredevil series, they then greenlight a Daredevil movie. That's the only other movie I could see him potentially appear in.
Yeah, and they've already cameoed Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock in a movie already. So it would stand to reason that they would probably go ahead and do a Daredevil movie. I think it would warrant one. I would like it, considering that my whole thing, we've talked about it before, with Disney taking control of these shows now, my concern is that they're going to water it down for their younger audiences. So,
well, I would say Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness broke the trend because it was a little bit more darker, especially the way
correct.
the
But it's the movies. It's the movies, yes. Yeah. It's the movies. I'm talking more about the television shows on Disney Plus. The movies, they can get a little leeway to do what they want. Yeah. But yeah, the TV shows is just that's my fear, that they're going to take some of these great characters, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, if they do anything with the other ones, that they're going to water it down for their younger audience.
Yeah. Yeah, I think more than likely, again, it will have to come down to Kevin Feige if somebody asks him the question, so what's going on with Moon Knight? Are we getting a season 2, or is he just going to be a cameo in another movie as a side character? We'll see. I think they're going to make a season 2 because obviously the next step in this series is Mark and Steven realizing that there's actually a third persona and that they're ultimately still an avatar under Khonshu, which when they find that out, they're not going to be happy. So yeah, but that was pretty much it. I thought Moon Knight as a whole was pretty solid from beginning to end. I was highly invested in a character that I knew nothing about. And I'm definitely interested to see where the character goes in the future.
Me too. I really liked it as well too. The casting was great. They didn't really cast any particular actor or actress that I thought that wasn't worthy of the role or didn't do a good job in a role. The CGI, was good, I thought. I still think they still could have probably made it maybe just a little more darker, because that's the kind of character that Moon Knight is. So, which goes into my theory of, watering watering it down for a younger audience. But all in all, it was very good. It does warrant a season 2. So we'll see where it goes, and I'm looking forward to whatever they do with this character.
Yep. So that's pretty much it. Next
Yep.
Disney Plus TV show is going to be Miss Marvel, which some people, it's looking like, from what I'm seeing on Twitter, not a lot of people are going to like this series. I'm going to give it a chance. The only reason why I know about Miss Marvel is because I played the recent Avengers video games, which, yeah, I know it's not the best, but the only difference in Miss Marvel is that I saw is that they changed up her powers. She has more like cosmic abilities and stuff like that, but she can still expand like her Fisk and everything, but it's just kind of just more cosmic being. But it looks like it's going to be interesting. It's going to be one of those coming of age stories, and it might not resonate with people because it's a pretty much a teenage kid. So older viewers, it may not be. To me, it might resonate with me because I'm close to that age demographic.
And me, it may not, because I'm away from, I'm a little beyond that demographic, and I'm not interested in watching, a superhero version of Hannah Montana. That's just what I think. Or the Wizards of Waverly Place. I'm not interested in a teen show, but I'll give it a shot. I'm pretty sure we'll talk about it as well too as we get into each episode. But Disney has really shown me that, they can hit you in the mouth when they want to hit you in the mouth. So that's why I'm really looking forward to seeing this show.
Yep, that comes out June 8th. And then after that, I believe Thor: Love and Thunder will come out. We'll definitely do a review on that highly anticipated film. Then after that will be She-Hulk. And that's in August 17th, I believe. And then I don't know what's coming next after that. But other than that, Marvel's still making movies and they're still doing their thing. So that's pretty much it for this video, because we pretty much ran out of time here for our Zoom room.
Before we go, I'm not really looking forward to She-Hulk, because that means my summer is over, and it'll be a new school year. So I'd be like, okay, She-Hulk, stay away for a while. But I do like Tatiana Maslany as an actress, so that's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to this show.
Yeah, and then it's going to be very interesting to see how Mark Ruffalo's character is, or the Hulk, Bruce Banner, is tied into it, because they're cousins. Correct. But yeah, we're out of time. We're going to get out of here, guys. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Moon Knight season finale, your thoughts on Moon Knight as a whole, and I guess the other Marvel shows that are coming forward. So let's hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Marvel MCU content. Again, I'll leave a link at my outro to the Doctor Strange movie review if you want to get our thoughts on it. We just dive straight into spoilers for that. It's non-spoiler. There's no non-spoilers, it's just spoilers. But anyways, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night watching this video. Until then, guys, peace.